Most people believe just because I'm a womanizer and I charm a lot of women and stuff like that. They think that I don't believe in love. This world is run by one entity, and that entity is known as. Don't be afraid to get hurt. Show that love to the very end.
You just referenced God as the doctor, right? Yeah, so back to what we were just talking about. We're on air with Air. It's the Aircast. I got RJ's advice on the first official episode. We actually spent like 20-30 minutes shooting right now, but nothing was recording, so we were just kind of like practicing. But anyways, it started really great because this guy was like, this is my first time here on the podcast, and I had to elaborate. This is all of our first times here. I shot like an impromptu episode last week where I didn't even plan to. We kind of just had the equipment going, and we kind of just recorded, and the whole episode, you guys have probably already seen it, and if you haven't, it's episode 1. It's already out already. This is going to be episode 2, but this is my first actual episode where I invite somebody. I got RG's advice on, and my dog here has basically been giving advice, doing all this what people think is Andrew Tate-esque now. He was doing that, being on a camera, giving advice to people how to better yourselves, not just for guys, more really for women, since we were in high school. And it's funny because the analogy and the example I first gave, not analogy, but the example I first gave was we would be like in the middle of a club dancing with girls. My dog would have like a girl in front of him, a girl behind them, and he'd take a break. He'd be like, no, we're stopping this. And he'd bring girls outside of the club to just talk and give them life advice and be like, what are you doing with your life? You got to get better. This and that. This guy's like a sophomore. He was a sophomore in high school doing this. So
15 years old.
We were just mid-conversation. It was getting heated. And my general question was, where does that come from? Where did you see that first? Did you grow up seeing like talk shows? Do you remember like a movie where like Hitched? Hitched is a character, Will Smith's Hitched. Shout out Will Smith. If you're listening, and we know you are. That's a character where a guy's just, I'll teach you. Oh, the pickup artist. That's perfect because that was something artist, I think you give me that vibe. When we were young, you had a very pickup artist vibe on how to get women for guys. But before the guys, the reason why guys were interested in what the hell you were saying is because you were always talking to girls and you were giving girls advice on women, value yourselves, love yourselves. Like 10 years ago, before this was even a thing, trust me, women should have always valued yourselves. But nowadays, you got guys like Andrew Tate and all these crazy guys telling you to do it. And like women are like, I love him because he's so true. And it's like, you should know this. Your dad should be telling you this. RJ, advice should have been telling you this. Yeah. So where does that come from? Where do you see that? Did you is it the pickup artist? Like, I think that was a show on MTV or something.
Yeah, okay.
Did you see that show?
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
I did.
It was a TV show, right?
Yeah, we grew up watching the same stuff.
Yeah, we're the same age.
Basically,
guys.
I mean, first and foremost, I just want to, say that, everybody gives advice. You give me advice. We're all people. We're all human beings that just learn from experiences. And at times we find ourselves taking everybody else's advice, right? But the last person's advice that we always, seem to be forgetting to take is our own, right? Because most people, believe that we need other people's advice. We really don't. All we need to listen to is our own understanding and our own logic. But to basically, wait,
hold on. Let me pause you because we're going a little crazy right now. So,
of course.
At first, I feel like what you were just trying to say there is that we're easy to give ourselves great advice to our friends.
Yes,
but it's hard for us to take our own advice ourselves.
It is. Yeah.
So that's more like practice what you preach. I get that. That's cool.
You get a lot of people now and then who say so many things, especially now on the internet, where they're preaching. They think they know everything when in reality they don't know squabbles.
Well, everybody wants to, now. That's internet's a beautiful thing, but a problem is oversaturation. Everybody thinks they have to be heard. Everybody thinks they have a message. Yes. Now here's the beauty. I think everybody does have something to say, but 9 times out of the 10, people aren't sharing their truth or what I think they have to give out to the world. They're just giving out what they think other people want to hear. That's kind of different, though. But what I kind of want to more dive into first, though, RJ, is you. I kind of want to get an idea because, people, and yes, people are always, we're all thirsty. We're all thirsty for advice. We're all thirsty for knowledge. We all want to ask. We're always going to try to educate ourselves. But you're my boy. I really, as a friend of boy to boy, I want to know,
where did it all start?
Is it more from a place of, I wish somebody was giving me this advice? Because I go through that a lot now, especially with younger people, like in the gym or younger friends making music. I constantly tell them, or even with work, like in my sales job, I'm constantly giving them advice. And in my head, I'm always like, bro, when I was your age, I wish somebody was breaking it down like this for me. And it wasn't until somebody broke it down like this for me that I was like, oh, and I saw the light. Or maybe somebody never told it to me the way I'm telling it to you, and I'm constantly doing that. But you were doing that when we were younger.
Yeah,
like
way
where
before
you
the internet.
Yeah,
basically,
the internet was there, but like it's not like it wasn't a thing. So like, where
Yeah.
does that come from for you? Like, do you? Because were you thinking about yourself? Or you're like, damn, when I was in
No,
elementary school,
absolutely
nobody was
not.
like, were you just, is that a way for you to be cool? Like, was that a way for you
No.
to socialize with people, to connect with people? Like, you thought that was going to get you more girls, like showing them that you were insightful, you were knowledge, because that's what you were doing. You were being insightful, you were giving game.
No, the quite opposite.
What was the incentive? Like, what was the idea behind
What was the
that?
purpose behind it?
Yeah,
Of
not
course.
purpose, but like what was going through your mind when you were doing that? Like, why were you doing that? And now looking back at it, now you're double the age, at least 10 years from there.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think was going through your mind at that time? You were thinking about girls. That was a big incentive for us. Yes, women. Yeah, we're trying to get laid. Trying to lose our virginity. High school. But you're doing something a little bit different because even if it was just to get in girls' pants. Where does that come from? Where it's just like, yeah, you should better yourself. You should go get a job. You should, be independent. You should this and that. Like that's. I'm so interested in where that comes from because that's such a unique stance at the time. Now a lot of people are doing it because they see Andrew Tate and all these people succeeding at it. You were doing this before anybody was really doing that.
Exactly. Yeah. Like you said, I started off giving advice when I was in middle school and in sophomore year, and like you said, before the internet was ever around. I would do this. And, my friends would actually like see me, on social media and they would ask me questions, not just on Instagram, but on Snapchat and
But
Facebook.
middle school, they had Snapchat? No.
High school. When I was in, when I started, I started
Yeah, so
my
when it
sophomore
developed,
year,
and now you're good. Now you have the name
Yeah.
RJ's advice. So, by the way, what's RJ? That's your name?
that's those are my initials.
Cool.
Ronaldo Jesus.
Ronaldo
But,
Jesus.
Yeah.
Shout out.
And it's actually interesting. I got that name in middle school, from one of my friends. They
RJ's
actually-
advice?
Yeah, they actually gave it to me.
RJ?
And it stuck. Yeah, no, RJ. Advice
RJ.
came
Nobody
later
had ever
on.
given you RJ before in your life. No
sir.
family, no friends, nobody.
I was always called by my first name.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah, so I got my name in middle school. Shout outs to Frankie J. You my
Shout
boy.
out
I love you.
Frankie, if you're listening, and
You
we
got
know
me.
you are. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. So cool. All right. So, and when you first start giving advice, middle school, what's that like? That's boyfriend girlfriend advice, and you say you start then because why? Because that's when everybody gets girlfriends, right? What was your first girlfriend?
I can't remember.
You don't
honestly.
remember your first girlfriend?
Must have
ever?
been in elementary school.
No
actually.
way. You do not
Yeah.
remember your first.
Well, like
girlfriend, dog.
first girlfriend or first real relationship. My
Great
first girlfriend
question.
was
So
probably.
let's
out
get
the
into
womb.
that. Let's get into that because that's a great difference.
But
That's a great
wait.
difference.
Let me actually, before we continue. Let me explain the origins behind
The advice.
the
We're gonna
name,
get that.
yeah.
We're gonna get there. Yeah, for sure. I got you, RJ, but let's one at a time. So
Okay.
you start giving advice middle school because everybody starts getting girlfriends.
Yes.
When
because
you're giving advice to people, do you have your first girlfriend yet?
I did.
What? So this is middle school.
This was middle. No.
So
this
you
was-
do
this
remember
was-
your first
This was
girlfriend?
elementary. This was elementary.
Oh, so you had your first
I
girlfriend
had a
elementary.
couple. I had a couple.
Got
honestly.
you. Okay, so we don't need. Got you. We're not gonna get into all of them, but we don't even gotta say the name if you don't want to. If it was like a heartbreak, but at first you said you don't remember. Now you're giving exact details, dog. So when was the first person you said was your girlfriend? Like you asked, "Will you be my girlfriend?" Doesn't have to mean you kissed her. Because I'll be honest, my first girlfriend, I didn't kiss her. I didn't kiss her.
Okay.
I had her for like a whole month, and we just held hands and we called.
Well,
told
to be
everybody we were boyfriend,
truthfully honest, I can't remember.
that's
That's my answer. I cannannot remember my actual girlfriend, but I do remember
We're
the
about to
first
bleep that.
ones that were there. Because there were a lot, and like I said, the majority of my life, I've always found myself always being around women in their presence.
So who's one? Who's Genesis? Not if it's her name Genesis, that'll be crazy.
Well, actually,
It actually is.
she's my baby
Genesis,
mama. Yeah,
if
shout
you're
out to
listening-
Jenny. I love you.
What was it?
Jenny.
Jenny's the first
Yes.
girlfriend ever.
No, not the first one ever. Not the
So
first
who's
one ever.
Jenny?
Jenny is my baby mama. The mother of my children. Yeah.
Okay. Shout out the VMs for sure. So that's the
But
first
that
baby
was
mama.
that's the one and only. But my first girlfriends were, like I said, in elementary school, and there were
But
so
this guy
many.
says girlfriends. Did you have like two girlfriends at once? Was your first girlfriend like a situation where you were like Flavor Flav and Flavor of Love, and you're like both of you are gonna compete? And
No, like so
What's going on?
define girlfriends, right?
Bro, but I did. The first girlfriend is first girl that you liked that you thought was cute. You told her, "I like you. Do you want to be my girlfriend?" It doesn't have to be like that. Like I said, I had no game. Like that just established right now. What
Yeah.
was your first girl like that? And then after we could get into the girlfriends and the first
Okay,
one you
okay,
kissed.
okay.
Like the first girlfriend doesn't have to be the first girl you kissed. I'm telling you right now, my first girlfriend, I didn't kiss her. I didn't do anything with her. It was terrible. It was terrible. My first girlfriend was my first breakup. That's the only other first she was for me.
Okay.
Shout out to
I
Jenny.
guess my first
Terrible.
girlfriend would have to be Her name was Cassandra. Cassandra.
With a C or
well,
with
at the
a K?
time, she, no, with a K, with a K.
I love that.
Yeah.
You see?
And this
That's
was
unique.
this
Oh,
was
God.
in
Cassandra with a
elementary
K.
school. So like the first girl that I've ever like had a crush with, you know,
Wildin'.
actual
That
like
was in elementary school. Wow.
connection with was a girl, you know, in the 5th grade, and to this day we're still great friends.
Cassandra?
Yeah,
Nice. That's
yeah,
beautiful.
first girlfriend ever, man. Honestly, you know, it brings me back. I was a kid at that time, and you know, it was the first girl I've ever had a crush on. You know,
Really?
Yeah.
The first crush was the first girlfriend? Bro, that's
Yeah.
you had 100% success rate. Bro, you know how many crushes I had before I had a girlfriend?
So she wasn't per se a girlfriend, right? She was someone at that time when you were in school, you'd call like, oh, that's a girlfriend, you know, like a little.
Choose a
girlfriend.
girl that's a friend.
Yeah, but like yeah.
A friend that's a girl.
Yeah, like a friend is a girl, right? But we we did share like, you know, moments of like intimacy where, you know, we'd be romantic with each other, we'd talk to each other all the time.
What does
in
that mean?
school,
You kissed?
Yeah, you remember like when you were like in elementary school and you would say, "Oh, that's my girlfriend," you know.
No, I got no girls. I had no game. I went to a private school all the way through 5th grade, dog. And like it was a situation where like it was like boys against girls. Like, ew, you're really?
Oh,
they
no,
don't know
no.
about sports. Like it was whack. It was
Right.
corny. Like I got no girls, dog. Like it was corny. My first girlfriend was in summer camp, and like I didn't even kiss her. You know how she broke up with me, bro? She broke up with me via Nokia phones. This is like at the time we had the phones.
Yeah,
that had
man, I
Snake on
remember
it.
those.
Chico, she sent me a video filming herself. So imagine how choppy it was. It looked like she filmed it with a PlayStation 1. It's crazy, dog.
Yeah, yeah.
And she sent me a video because like she had sent me text saying we broke up, and I was in denial. Like, are you sure? Are you for real? Seriously? And she sent me a video. I'll never forget it. She sends me a video and she goes, "Yeah, it's true. I'm sorry." Oh my God, I turned the lights
And
off.
that
in my
hurt.
room. Man, bro, just thinking about it right now, it's still, bro. I'm still. It's funny to think back, but I was so hurt as a kid. It's my first breakup ever was via freaking phone video message on a
How old were you
Nokia
at the time?
Dude, this is has to be middle school, maybe right before 6th grade. It's summertime. I'm in summer camp. That's how I met her and knew her. And right before, like, this is midsummer. Like, I asked her to be my girlfriend, like June, like the 2nd, 3rd week of June.
Yeah.
She broke up with me, like right before I was going on a family trip, because we're in summer camp, and the summer camp you're locked in from June to like August. This is like my 6th year in the summer camp. She's like a new kid, and I'm like a veteran. That's like the mindset as a little kid,
Right.
And like she's a little bit younger, and you know, it's everybody kind of knew that this year I was leaving to go spend like a month with my family in Colorado. So I wasn't gonna come back for the rest of summer was the idea, but she was my girlfriend the whole beginning of summer, and like we hadn't kissed yet. She broke up with me, dude. She broke up
Damn,
with
man,
me
that's
via
crazy.
video message, and then I come back at the end like the Punisher or like any Raw superhero that gets killed at the beginning.
Yeah, you come back as a super villain.
No, I wish. I didn't even have enough game to do that. I was just, I was a fat little guy. I just wanted a girlfriend. Like, I had
Yeah.
no game at all. So, but yeah, that's a cool story. I guess the universe kind of did its thing because after I lost all the weight, she kind of gained some weight. I ended up getting a bunch of girls. She ended up
Yeah,
hitting
like
me on
the roles
IG,
reversed.
liking my pictures, and then I wasn't giving her no time of day after because I was getting a bunch of girls. And it's sad, but like that was kind of my mindset in high school, and she's my first heartbreak. But nowadays I'm so happy about that because it's such a beautiful situation. My mom saw her one day, and she's like, "Oh, she reminds me of me when I was young." It's so
Right,
funny.
right.
Jennifer Garcia, man, if you're listening in, we know
Shout
what
outs
you
to
are.
Jennifer.
Shout out to Jennifer. But that was my first heartbreak. So your first girlfriend's Cassandra with a K.
Yeah.
So you're friends, but and what's beautiful about that is that you have a great relationship with love, because the best relationships, a lot of people say, come from a friendship.
Exactly, yes.
Your first introduction to intimacy and romanticizing the other sex, or a significant other, is from a friend. It's from somebody you're playing along with as a friend, and then that grows into something better. That's beautiful.
That's true.
So when you say that Cassandra's your first girlfriend, do you just say she's your first girlfriend because we were just kissing, messing around? Did you ever actually say, "I want you to be my girl for real"? Did you guys ever go through that?
Well, with me it's different, even till
With
today.
you and Cassandra, not with you. I don't want to know about all the other girls when you developed into. Let's focus on Cassandra right now. Did you ever actually say, "Cassandra, I want you to be my girl"?
No, never.
No, so that was just looking back on it. You're just mature in your word economy, and you're saying, yeah, realistically, I guess, well, technically, like when you think about it, that's kind of was.
I do it like I did it like
You're
subconsciously, in a sense.
No, that's real. That's your first friend with benefit. That's your first,
No, not friends with benefits. I gotta remind you, man. This was elementary school.
But you were kissing her. You did little shit, right?
Yeah,
but she wasn't your girlfriend.
Yeah, she was my girlfriend.
So what is that? That's a friend with benefit. There's a term for that. What is that?
Oh, then yeah, I guess if you
we're not gonna say she's your side piece in elementary school. Side piece is when you have a girlfriend. So she's not your side piece. She's not your slider. She's not your thought. She's the only girl at the time probably that you.
I guess you could call it, like your
first little girlfriend.
But not technically.
First girlfriend. But not technically.
But not technically.
That's the right way to say it.
The first childhood crush, I guess I would say.
Puppy love. Yeah, that's real puppy love. It's beautiful.
That childhood, girlfriend. Yeah,
that's beautiful.
Because I was a child at that time, and no, I didn't ask her to be my girlfriend. I guess it just sort of happened.
No. You guys never actually got to the term. So now that brings me to my next question.
Yeah.
Shout out Cassandra. We're done with Cassandra. Who's the first girl that you went out of your way? Maybe you messed around with already. Maybe you messed around with other girls. Who's the first girl that you stood on business and you're like, no, that's my first girlfriend. It's like, hey, you're my girlfriend. You know that, right? Like, you're mine. Like,
oh yeah.
Where does that? Do you know?
I do.
Do you remember?
Yes,
Perfect.
sir.
Let's get
yes,
it.
sir.
Give me your name if you can. If not, just
Samantha. Her name was Samantha.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, and this is middle school.
This wasn't middle school. This was actually sophomore year. Yeah, I met her in the same school we actually went to.
This is 6th grade?
This was 10th grade.
10th grade. Well,
yeah. Sophomore year.
Oh, sophomore. I'm sorry.
Sophomore year, yeah.
Let's back up a little bit.
Of course.
That's your first actual girlfriend?
My first actual relationship, yeah. Shout out to Samantha.
But you started giving advice in middle school, 6th grade.
I did.
7th grade.
I did.
So this whole time you're having friends because you have friends with benefits. You have other Cassandras coming around, other girls that you're friendly with. You help with homework, they help you, and then you're just kissing and wow, that's that's so cool, man. That's
and before I had that first real relationship,
that's the way to do it.
I had lost, I had met a bunch of girls even before, in freshman year. I had already lost my virginity, and that was like,
but
like the blossoming to,
but not to girlfriends.
No, not to girlfriends. No,
that's what I'm saying.
Didn't have no girlfriends. I avoided them.
You're experimenting. No, but the truth is, that's an adult way to look at love and shit like that. Because as a kid growing up, I looked at it reverse. I looked at it like, no, you have to be with a girl, make it official, make sure you guys are on the same page about being official, and you guys just got to give each other time, and eventually you earn the right to have sex and whatever and all that.
Right.
It's just so evil, and that's not right. That's not cool, and that's not healthy. The way you're doing it is no, we're just vibing, and if it vibes into something better, it vibes into something better, which is the right way. That's as a kid, I for one reason or another, it didn't click in my head like that, and maybe it was because, like I said, all the way to 5th grade, I was in a private school, and none of the kids had girlfriends. That was nobody was dating in our class. We all grew up together. And we just went to school and did our thing, and like it wasn't until like maybe after 5th grade, and then I left that private school and I did my own thing. I started going to public school for the first time. And I had girlfriends, and like I said, that summer I had this first girl that broke up with me over the phone. So just so you understand, the way you look at that is very different. And me and you,
you're right. It actually you're right. It definitely is wrong.
No,
because the thing is that
it's not healthy.
It's not. Like I was young. I was a kid. I was really dumb. And I was just never really guided.
We're all dumb when we're young.
I was never really guided when it came to relationships. I grew up with just my mother. It was her, and
no dad.
No, my dad was actually in Colombia. So I grew up just with my mother and my grandmother, actually.
Did you talk to him a lot, though?
Of course, yeah. We always had a great relationships. We still do. Shout outs to Pops. I love you.
Shout out, Dad.
He's actually here right now. He's probably watching this.
Your dad's in town?
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Beautiful. We're for sure I want you to for sure show it to him. My dad's here right
now. Pops.
Feet away from us.
Shout out to all the Pops out there.
Shout out to all the dads in the world, for real. We wouldn't be here without you guys.
Exactly. No, but as I was saying.
Shout out to you. This is a pop, too, man.
I'm a dad, too. Number one.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, man, like I was never really guided when it came to relationships.
We never really are. Who is?
Nobody.
That's why Hitch is such an interesting thing, because it's like, oh, there's a service you could pay for somebody to go and give you.
No, but if you really think about it, technically speaking, our parents are actually supposed to guide us when it comes to monogamy.
Nobody gives you any game. Do you see mom dating growing up? Because
I did. I did actually. Yeah.
Did any of the guys ever give you game, or were you like vicariously watching them, maybe taking notes?
I actually learned from them, learning from my mom's
From watching?
experiences. Yes, from watching and from being in their lives as well. Like
Seeing what they did right and what they did wrong.
exactly, yeah. So I had a lot of
Nice. Wow.
male role models in my life to this day that I actually would thank because they taught me a lot about everything actually. But eventually, you learn, you pick up what you know, right? And seeing my mom, being dated by so many men actually, showed me that that was not a wrong thing, but that's, a common thing, which a lot of people, get confused. Half the things we do in this world.
There's a
could be
stigma. There's a
considered-
stigma, and it's really strict. That's exactly what I was just
Yeah.
stating, and that's a wrong. That's a poison, and that's a brainwashing that people go into, and that's like from the
Yeah.
church and you're not supposed to have sex until you're married, and
Of
hey, if that's
course.
your respect,
Yeah.
that's your choice. But the truth is, animals are gonna experiment with other animals, and yes, we're gonna breed, and yes, that's something we're eventually gonna get to. But the truth is, bro, we only have one life, and if you're not happy with the life you live, if you're not happy with your partner, you're just shooting yourself in the
Yeah,
foot. You're setting
but
yourself
I will
for
say
failure.
this. I will say this.
know?
Even though I did see my mother, have different relationships, well, not with different men. Like she actually had like long-term
No, you
relationships.
saw
with
different
them.
relationships. Though.
Exactly.
You saw
I did,
different
however,
boyfriends, different phases.
see my grandmother and my grandfather, and they were actually
Together.
married together. Yes.
Whoa, so you
for
saw
over
both
40
the
years.
worlds.
So I saw
That's
both of
worlds.
both worlds.
Wow.
And they stayed till the very end, and they actually showed me what a real relationship is. In contrast to a fake one, I saw them bicker, I saw them love each other, I
so
saw them argue.
When you
Yeah.
say fake, you mean more like a successful versus not successful. Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying
What do you
is-
mean fake? What's a real and what's a fake? Can we? What does that mean?
Yeah, of course. So basically, when I saw their relationship, it was something that you wouldn't see in movies. It's something that people wouldn't, talk about.
This is grandma and grandpa.
Grandma and grandpa, a real, commitment that they made because they were actually born in the 1930s. They were, more from the old generation, so they believed in
Wow,
commitment.
they saw world wars.
Yeah,
That's
they believed in
crazy.
commitment. They believed in the old moral, like laws from their beliefs. And back then,
Traditional. What I was just saying, like
they were
growing up,
traditional people.
sticking to one. This
Yeah,
and that. Okay.
and that relationship growing up, I saw it as authentic. Something we don't see nowadays because people are so blinded by lust and passion. Their relationship was surreal in the sense where you would see what they actually struggled with. My grandfather was an alcoholic, and my grandmother was just a very angry person. She would get triggered by even the slightest pen
with
dropping on the
him
floor.
or with other things? Oh, with the pen
with
drops or everything.
With
So you
everything. I
think
had a tough grandmother.
and grandmother who's married to the alcoholic grandpa.
Yes.
But you're saying they had a successful relationship in the sense that they stayed
They
together.
did. They stayed
but they had
together
these
to the very end.
outside internal issues,
Yes.
even though they were together.
Family issues we all see in any home.
So what's your perspective on that? Because that it's funny because it's beautiful actually how God and works with the writing of this conversation because it all is kind of tying together. You have great perspective from seeing two people stay together regardless of your faults, regardless if it's healthy for you, which is going to lead to my question.
Yeah.
Do you think it's best to stick it out and thug it out for better or worse just because? Or do you think you should, kind of do your due diligence and figure out, maybe experiment around, it's okay
Right.
to break up and come back. Like a lot of people think like when you break up, like that's it, I'm never going to be with that person. It's just not going to work out. But there's also this very beautiful quote where let something go. And if it comes back to you, it's really yours. The main question I want to get to you right now, RJ, is what do you think is healthiest for a relationship as far as putting up with toxicity from the person? Like, you're supposed to accept somebody's flaws, or should you set a high standard and find something better? What's your stance on that?
Well,
and what's the giving point?
as ironic as it may seem, I actually believe in marriage and I actually believe in commitment.
What do you
Let me
say?
start.
As ironically as it may
most
seem
people,
like that?
most
Why do you say
people,
that?
well,
Why do you-
most people believe just because I'm a womanizer and I charm a lot of women and stuff like that they think that I don't believe in love or that I don't believe in like matrimony and stuff like that. And that's actually real sad because I actually do believe in all that stuff.
So, people, yeah, people think in your head. Because we can't talk for people because we got to have a podcast with one by one person. Hey, do you think RJ's a womanizer? I don't want you to go off, and this is, I would tell you this off air. don't be thinking that everybody thinks one thing of you, dog. That's a generalization, and that's everybody's too complex. We're all complex individuals. Everybody thinks differently, and the truth is, it's really ignorant to have an opinion of somebody without getting to know somebody, without getting a conversation, really
Right.
seeing how they are. If you just think somebody's a womanizer because I see, he dates a bunch of people and this and that, whatever. Get to know somebody, see what's going on. Maybe these are like ongoing relationships that the guy's been
course.
dating with the same person
Of
his whole
course.
life. Like,
Yeah.
you don't know.
But yeah, I do believe in marriage, and I do believe in commitment, and I believe that
For sure.
everyone, if they truly love each other, they should stay committed to the very end.
Cool. So it sounds like, and tell me if you would agree. Does this whole thing of giving people advice and stuff like that, does this come from like a young RJ seeing abuelo and abuela, grandpa and grandpa have what you think is a perfect or successful relationship, and then seeing mom go through all these things? Does this come from like a place of, oh, I know it all because like this is what would work, right? Like, you guys should listen to me because I see them and like I've seen this, and if you guys just listen to me, do you think that is where RG, like, in your heart, like, does it grow into that eventually? Because it starts with just seeing them, then you see movies, then your friends start going out with girls, and then you don't
Right.
even have a girlfriend till high
Well,
school.
sorry to stop you there, but you actually just mentioned it right now, and I will tell you
What?
it started at that age when I was young, but it started off with that itself of imitating people.
Imitating,
So, yeah,
like what? Imitating success, what you think is good?
No, more of imitating people rather than
What are you imitating?
well, at the time, right?
How to
like,
get girls? Like imitating like what works for, like, oh, this guy acts like
no,
this.
absolutely not. I just at that time I wasn't just giving advice, about how to pick up girls or how to pick up women or how to,
No, it's
talk
life.
to.
It's like
yeah, I was given,
confidence,
I was given
swag.
like things that I was going through, like as a kid, how to get over depression or how to like control anxiety. But eventually it revolved around more of that itself of dating advice because I was an imitator at that time. I had just seen my first role model, as a matter of fact, before, like I said, like you were, speaking of Andrew Tate and all these dating coaches. At that time, I was
Dating coaches.
yeah,
That's such a
dating
funny
coaches.
term.
No, but it's actually a real term, believe it or not. There are many
Yeah.
actual certified dating coaches out there. And the first one that I came across was a man named Jason Capital. And
Jason Capital.
Jason Capital.
That's
Yeah,
a
shout
cool
out to
name.
Jason. He actually
out,
brought in my
Jason.
mind. He's actually not a dating coach anymore. He's a business coach. He trains people how to grow successful businesses. But
Probably more
he
money in
started, he
dating than
started
business.
off as a basketball player, but then he reinvented himself as a dating coach. And seeing his first video, on how to talk to women, it actually, like, I saw it and it kind of made me want to get into that because not only was I successful, in my teens talking to girls, many of my friends would see me around girls, talking to them, wooing them.
Because you
and it made me
played
want to
it
do
perfect.
that.
You were like, I'm not gonna get into no serious relationship. You're the no relationship guy. So you're just, I'm the friend with benefit. Not that you're that guy, but like that's why. And everybody's like, how do you do it? How do you do it? And then all your friends are in my shoes, being the nerd, like, because I gotta get a girlfriend, and here's some roses, and do you want to go to homecoming with me and be my girlfriend? And it's like, you're like, bro.
Well, let me say that I actually,
It's just a healthier way to look at it. At least when you're young. At least when you're young, to figure out what you want and what you like. Because the truth is, I think there's a balance in life, and I think you could agree that that's cool for a certain amount when you're experimenting, when you're just trying to figure out, what do I like? And that's kind of what my first point was with, like, the couples that don't have sex till marriage. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna spend all this money on this whole life and relationship with this person, and then what? The guy can't get hard, or the guy just doesn't do it for you, and you guys just don't click together. You guys don't have sexual chemistry. What? Oh no, but God's gonna fix our chemistry. What does that mean? You're gonna put a gerbil up your ass like this? What's the name of the famous guy? Richard Gere,
Gere.
like that's so crazy to me, and that whole concept of I'm holding off is like, homie, you're only on this world for so long.
Yeah.
You're only in this life for so long. The partner, the person you're gonna spend the most of your time with, is such an important decision.
You're right. You're right.
And the truth is, the whole womanizer thing, it's silly, because it's a healthy way to look at it, and it's the whole
Unhealthy. Way.
unhealthy
Yeah.
and healthy. It's a balance. It's like everything in life. There's
Of
a balance.
course.
Everything's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Like fire. Fire could cook your meal and keep you warm.
Yeah.
It could also burn down your house and kill you.
Dude, I agree with you, honestly, 100%. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, not only do I agree with that, I actually preach that, especially now more than ever, because I feel like as a people, like kids growing up in our generation have lost that, trait that we used to see back then in, our families. We're not
What's
committed.
that trait? Specify. If you have to put it into words, what is that trait?
I put it into one.
Wait, hold on. We got a timeout.
Once I touch a M, my team gon' be straight. Trapping until then, catch me on the interstate. Doing what I does, keeping food on the plate. He ain't doing enough, now your bitch on dinner dates.
What is the trait
as I was saying-
that kids have lost?
Is
that kids don't have nowadays?
the real, things in life, love, friendship, companionship, emotion, all these things. But if I were to summarize it in one word and describe it, I'd say love. People like our generation, at least, I feel like they've lost that sense of, emotion that we all have as a human.
Emotion. Why do you think that is? Why do you think people are less emotional or more emotionless? You would say. Why do you think that is?
Well, if you think about it, man, you have to understand that, every decade, the world changes. The world changes constantly, right?
No, world's constantly changing, and it constantly will. One thing that we got to understand is that what we think is crazy today, and 10 years, 20, 50 years from now, those people are going to think it's normal. What those people think are crazy, 50 years after them is going to be normal, and that's just something that's going to progressively increase and always happens.
Yeah.
But why do you think people nowadays are more the womanizer thing? Like, that's nowadays normal. That's cool. Like, everybody's womanizing nowadays. Everybody,
Of course,
girls are all,
that's nothing new.
Why do you think that? But what do you think's going on? Why do you think it's happening? What's changed from when we were growing up? Like, are there less Disney Channel movies?
No, not at all.
Like, what's going on?
In fact, there was still men in that time that were players themselves. But I guess this didn't start a century ago, or it actually started 2,000 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, people overall have a disease, right? In my opinion, at least, that
What disease?
it's an internal disease,
Oh,
and I
okay.
believe that disease is called sin, right? It's basically something that prohibits you from being your perfect self, right? So you have to understand that this world is not ruled by God or the people you think that are running it right now. This world is run by one entity, and that entity is known as Satan.
The Illuminati.
Yeah, exactly. You have to understand that in this world, there's always authenticity and there's always counterfeits, right? There's a counterfeit
Facts.
for love. There's a counterfeit for greed. There's a counterfeit for everything, right? And, it didn't start just yesterday. This started, in the beginning after, men fell, and that disease that we have in us prohibits us from actually being fully loyal or committed or actually the best of ourselves. That's why men nowadays are, disloyal, and women are, disloyal. Women lie, women cheat, men steal, men kill, all these things.
Always
it's because
have
of
done
that disease.
Yeah, so always have done it. So you think it's that? So mind you, this came from that question of why do you think it's from the men? So you think the people controlling the evil at hand, you think they're attacking the men, which is what people say, right?
Right.
They're
Yeah.
attacking the men.
Well, you also got to understand one thing is that not everybody thinks like me. So most
No,
people would say
that's-
that that's normal.
that's why you're
That
here.
those are normal, things. In my opinion, since I'm a religious person, I don't think that it's normal. I think that it's it's common, but it's not normal. That's not the
what's
real.
normal. Thinking that there's like like a lot of people, like my whole life, I've been saying, like, since I was in elementary school, I would say the word Illuminati and people look at me crazy. And then now people know what it is and people still look at me crazy. Like, that's not something people like. What do you mean normal? What do people
So let
think is
me
normal?
put it this way. Have you ever asked yourself, why do I lie? Why do I steal? Why do I do the things that I do that are not in my eyes and my heart is wrong? Have you ever asked yourself that? You can't say that comes from the Illuminati because even they actually
that's your
struggle with
choice.
things like
Facts,
that.
facts. Okay,
Yeah.
I love where you're going
Yeah.
with this. Yeah,
So-
yeah. You can't blame no outside factors. No, no, no.
Exactly.
You make wrong mistakes, and everybody has wrong moments and wrong days.
Of course,
Facts, facts.
of
Everybody's
course.
capable of bad, but I don't think bad moments and bad decisions make somebody a bad person.
Yeah.
You feel me? Now there are bad people. Hitler was a bad guy.
What
You
I'm
can't
doing
just
is
say Hitler was
I'm
having
just
a bad
going.
day.
I'm just going to the root of it all. So like this whole thing where womanizing or cheating or lying didn't come from the last century. It came from the very beginning when man chose to give his dominion to this world to the actual adversary of God. So I believe that the reason why we lie, the reason why we cheat, the reason why we steal, the reason why we do all these things that today in America we think it's normal, it comes from the very beginning because we did fall. We did fall and we gave our own, throne to the adversary of God. And that's why he rules us. And that's why he tempts us to do the things that we do. That's why I lie. That's why I cheat. That's why I steal. That's why, I commit wrongs.
Shout out Eddie Guerrero. I lie,
So-
I cheat, I steal.
That's, yeah. So that's where I believe that the root comes from. But if you want to summarize it all, it's just that people are just blinded by their own pleasures. And that's why, they do the things they do in this
Vanities.
moment.
People are always going to
exactly.
wall out and do what's wrong, and that. So you're saying the devil manifests itself in a lot of different forms. There's drugs. There's problems. There's our own character flaws where we lie and steal and do bad things and act promiscuous, all that stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
So now we understand. At least we have an idea of why you think it's going on. What do you think people could do to be better? How do you think people nowadays, men, women, whatever you want to direct it to right now, what's one thing for sure you think that people could do to improve not just their love life but their overall life? Maybe God, but what does that come with? Can you break that down? Like give us some steps.
So
What
I'll
would you
give you
do?
I'll give you like I'll give you like a little example, right? Let's say you're a sick patient, right? With a disease or some type of illness or like a broken leg, right? The first thing that a person would do in such a case would be to go to the hospital, right? They'd go see a doctor because they are in the profession of, understanding what's actually going on, right? So in the world, it's kind of the same thing, right? You have somebody in the world who runs it, and he's constantly, attacking you.
What's it? Runs what? What runs it? Like the Illuminati? Like we're saying?
No,
runs
I'm not
everything?
speaking of I'm talking about something greater, something more powerful than that.
The universe? You're saying God?
No, not the
Somebody
universe. So in my case, right, there's an enemy. Just like in this world, when we see movies or we read books, there's always good and evil, right? In this world, there's good and evil, but there's always the origin of evil and there's always the origin of good, correct? So in my beliefs, I believe that origin comes from Satan or the adversary, the opposer of God, or in other words, the enemy of God. And he understands, just like we all understand that, since we're all family members, we're all dads, we're all mothers, he knows that when we procreate, the things that we create are our weaknesses. In your case, as a father, right? If you were to have a child, we all know that is your weakness. You will do anything to save that child or do anything for that child, correct? And in this world, we're opposed by that adversary. That adversary is constantly attacking us because he knows that we're God's weaknesses, because God loves us.
Word. So yeah, God does love us. You're always going to be attacked. My dad just got teary-eyed and clapped and reacted to that statement. That's powerful, dog. So yeah, definitely put God in people's hearts.
Sorry to cut you off, but
No,
as I
go
was
ahead.
as I was
That's what
saying
you're here
with
for. This is the cutting me off podcast.
so like I said, just like in this world, right? We have an illness, right, that is inflicted by
Character flaws. We all have.
we all have
a flaw.
flaws, right?
I think everybody has.
We only
That-
have
the
one.
thing,
we
the
only
thing.
have one. Okay, we
He's
all
asking if
have.
You want water? You want some water? You
Oh
want-
yeah, water, yeah. So yeah, like I was saying, man, in this world,
We all have the thing. We all have the thing. That,
yeah. So look, if right, let's say right now, right,
Some
you were to
people-
break your arm, right? Let's say you're playing
I'm
ball.
injured. I'm injured.
You're
I'm in the
injured,
hospital. I'm
right?
injured.
Who's the first person you go see?
I would go to the doctor if
You
I
would
have
go to the
insurance.
doctor, right?
If
You would
not-
go. Yeah, but you better have insurance, bro.
Oh, boy.
Well, look, you go to
We
the
gotta have a
doctor, right? And the
conversation.
doctor tells you, listen, your elbow's broken. Thanks, man. Your elbow's broken, and
It's a wrap.
this is what you got to
I'm
do.
not going to the NBA. Okay.
Listen.
I'm getting
okay.
into character. My arm's broken. The doctor tells me, "Yo, it's broken."
Yes.
I'm in my head. I'm like, all
Well,
right,
it's not
I'm not
broken.
going to
It's
the
not
NBA.
broken. It's like kind of like a sprain. Let's just say
Sprained.
sprain,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
It's not. So I could go
It's
to
not
the NBA.
that severe.
So
yeah.
I have a chance to go to the NBA. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay, well, I'll put it in a much simpler terms. Okay, you go to the doctor because you have an illness. Let's say, God forbid, you have a type of cancer.
No,
diabetes,
we already
or whatever.
established the elbow's broken.
All right, the
this
elbow,
guy,
all right.
this guy wants
Whatever,
to change the
point
script
is,
now.
The point is, you go to the hospital, you speak to the doctor, and the doctor gives you a set of guidelines to take in order for you to heal. Right now, this is where it becomes tricky, right? Because if you think about it, we're all that sick patient. Everybody in this world is a sick patient. You can have a broken, arm or cancer or anything. It's still an illness. It's still something that it's inside of you that cannot be healed if you don't take the doctor's advice. So let's say you have that broken arm and that doctor tells you, in order for you to heal, you have to stay indoors for 2 weeks. You have to not do any heavy lifting. You have to take the proper medicine and do whatever he tells you to do anyways. But you decide not to do it. you decide to just do whatever you want, right? You decide to go outside.
Go outdoors and lift heavy.
Yeah, you decide to not take that doctor's advice.
Opposite. Okay.
You decide to not take that doctor's advice, and then what happens a week from now? Are you healed, or are you still dealing with that, injury?
It depends, I guess, right?
If you go outside with that broken injury, and let's say you got to do some heavy lifting, right? You pick up a basketball, and then it gets worse, right? You have to understand that if a doctor, gives you advice to get better, but you don't take that advice, you're only going to get worse. And that's how we're all living in this world. We have one doctor in this world who's telling us, because they love us, because they care about us, that if we want to get better, we need to follow his guidelines. If we don't, then we're just going to get, worse.
Wow. That's first. Well, there's a lot to unpack here. You just referenced God as the doctor, right? That's what you just said. God is the doctor.
God is our doctor.
Prescription and the plan and the game plan to how to better our health. We just choose to be horses that are led to the water and choose not to eat it. That you're getting that quote. The horse could be led to the water, but if the horse chooses not to drink the water,
exactly.
Yeah. I moved the mic a little. It still looks cool.
But that's not everybody. There are people out there in this world. There are people out there in this world that do take that advice from that doctor, And at times they may struggle with it, and at times they may go through challenges.
No, I mean, look how full circle is, right? When it all comes full circle, like a good, well-written movie. Look how this conversation has gone full circle, because at the beginning, I asked you, where does RJ's advice come from? And you naturally, or maybe subconsciously, I don't know if you did it on purpose, you were saying, well, when I was young, I was giving advice, but us humans, we don't take our own advice. Like you're trying to say something like that.
Yeah.
That's what you just said right now.
Yeah. That we got to the root of it. The real root of it comes from, two, powerful
full circle
entities.
moment right there.
Yeah. So, it may come from other people's advice that we imitate. In my case, it came from a lot of people, but it mostly came from my own heart, because in our hearts, we all know two things. We all know good and evil. So eventually, even though I struggle with a sense of wickedness, I also have that power
like Star
inside
Wars,
of me of
like
doing good and doing what's right. So it comes from both. We both have, a little devil on our right shoulder and a little, angel on our left shoulder.
That's literally the concept of Chico Good Boy. It's the Chico and the good boy. The Chico's like the swaggy guy that traps in high school, and the good boy's the nerdy kid that gets good grades and doesn't trap.
Exactly.
Just buys the weed. So it's two different guys, and then they were like, hey, trap. And the other guy's like, hey, go to school. And then the best, then they fuse. They do in Dragon Ball Z when characters came together. You remember the fusion?
Right, yeah.
They do the dance and go, fusion, ha.
最高だぜ
And then it turns it to me. It's Chico Good Boy. It's
Exactly.
I'm both together.
No, you got it right on the pin drop. Yeah.
No, we all deal with that. Where we at on the second half? How much time we got? No, but what's the time? 42 right now. Okay, so cool. So that gives us enough time to do Big Three.
Yeah.
Every pod, I want to do this segment called Big Three, where we pick the best three. Like we do a draft. So like last time we had 4 of us and we did the Big Three fast food places. So everybody took turns one by one and picked their favorite top 3 fast food places of all time. If they could only eat one fast food place of all time. We're going to flip it up a little bit different because this whole time we're doing relationship advice and girls. So for girls, what are the big 3 things that you would need a partner, a lover, what's the relationship situation right now? Can you talk about that? Are you single?
Yeah, of course.
You're single? Are we dating? Are we?
I'm in a relationship right now.
We're in a relationship right now. Okay. So what are the big 3 things? What are the big 3 things that you need in a partner? And we'll go one by one. And whatever you say, I can't take. Whatever I say, you can't take. So like, this could be like good cooking skills. This could be,
of course.
Good listener, good communication. This could be, good in bed. But one at a time. You can't tell me like she's the best and that's number 1. No, don't give me something like that.
No.
So
I'll summarize it.
No, give me one by one though. What's your first take? Don't give me like a big thing. What's one thing that a partner has to have?
3 things.
Give me one at a time. We're gonna go one by one, one and one. Right. And if I pick something that's in your 3 list, you gotta switch it up.
Of course.
See?
All right,
go. Faith in God or in you or in what? Just faith in what?
Just faith. Faith. Yeah, can I give you the second one?
This is the second. No, I'm gonna go.
Okay, all right.
Relax, we gotta take turns. He's just excited. I want to go. I want to go. Now I gotta
I'm
try
excited,
to deter
man.
you. Now I gotta try to pick what you're picking to make it interesting.
Of course.
So you say faith. Just to understand, so I'm not picking what you're picking. Faith, you mean like faith in me, faith in trust, faith in everything? Like what's this?
Faith in the relationship. Faith in the relationship.
In the relationship. So let's summarize that with faith in me. Faith in me. And
Yeah,
what we're doing
faith
here.
in yourself. Faith
gotta
in
move in
the,
good
the
faith.
partner. Yeah,
Facts,
faith in
facts.
yourself and
Cool.
faith in the partner. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So I'm gonna go easy. I'm gonna say she has to be a good listener. I think a partner or any relationship
No,
is based on
no, that has nothing to do with that.
But I think communication's key. And if it's just me talking the whole time and you're not understanding and you're not if you're not understanding it's not just listening to my demands. It's listen to the situation. Be attentive. Be in the moment. Understand that. Damn.
Yeah, that's
If
one
I'm
factor. No,
stressing,
you're definitely
you feel me?
right. Communication is one thing, but to summarize it in just three,
What's two?
faith would be hope.
After
Have
faith,
hope.
it's hope.
Yeah.
Hope in what? I'm
Hope.
gonna hit the lotto.
No. So, I mean, if you think about it, what is hope? Right? What is hope? When someone has hope
In
for
a
something, what it
relationship.
is. Yeah.
In a relationship.
Hope isn't faith. You're right. Hope isn't faith, right? But the last thing, like I said, is the last thing would be love. Faith, hope, and love. That's all you need to have a successful relationship.
RJ, I'm gonna be real. You know what you just gave me? You know, have you ever walked in somebody's house and they have like the words? They have like the words.
That's
on their
exact-
kitchen?
that is it.
That's
Yeah, I know exactly
what I have
what
in
you're
my house
talking
is
about.
Faith, love, and
Yup.
hope. That's
Exactly.
So basically, what you look for in a partner is that when you walk in the crib, they have one sign that says faith, and then it's like a portrait, it's
Yeah.
love, and then it's hope. Okay, I like it. I like it.
That's all you really need, and you will have one. But the thing is that
And then
nobody,
everything else you could, no matter else, whatever else goes on in the world, you could attack.
Yeah.
Faith, love, and hope. Faith,
faith,
love, and
hope, and love.
Faith, hope.
But the most important of them is love.
Faith, love, and hope. Faith, love, and hope.
Yeah.
My dad says love should have been first.
Love
but
is first.
My dad's not
It's
in a
all
relationship,
summarized. That's why I said in the
so-
end, the most important one of these is love. That's all you need.
Hey, man, you're the only guy. Mark's. We got. Well, you're the only
What do you think
one of
about
us
that, Mark?
As another
Mark is like, of course,
taken
bro,
guy.
you know what
Nah, I
I'm
mean,
talking about.
hey,
it's RJ's advice, man.
You guys have girlfriend. You guys have significant others. You guys are in different situations. Me and my dad are bachelors. You know, so I was just making a joke. But yeah, that's my dad celebrating the single
All day.
life. Yeah.
All day.
Hey guys, official hair.
Hold on, Mark's got
Apex.
something on his mind.
To me, love.
You're gonna have to come up here, Mark. I don't think we're gonna be able to hear you. Throw it, go.
No, I'll repeat it. What is? I can hear you.
I feel like love. It comes with a lot of good and bad. You know what I'm saying? But as a person, like as myself, you know what I'm saying? They praise the Almighty God and I go to church and all that. So I'm hearing about love all the time.
Shout out God.
How we gotta show it and be real with it, because you could show love, but you know what I'm saying, you might not get that in return. So to me, like,
Listen,
for instance, relationships, anything, you gotta think about like what is real love, because you could love somebody, but you could hurt them tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
real love.
He's right about that.
So it's like
He's right about
so
that.
Like someone asked me right now, like, which one would you rather have in life, love or loyalty? I'm gonna pick loyalty over love any day, because you could love me, but you might be in the back with the rest of the people. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, gotcha. So love. There's cheap love. You don't want all love. Facts. That goes to that point.
And I got a real response
like
to
that.
that. I got a response to that. But look,
Fake love. Facts. There's fake
basically,
love.
what he's saying is that, of course, there is the risk of running love, right? To being in love, because at times when we love a person, they might not show that love back. And, what is the point of loving someone when they might have the possibility of not loving you back? Because you have to understand that, as human beings, we all have one unique gift, and that is the gift of free will. Right? There may be times where you love someone, but that person may not love you the same. And I'm gonna conclude that with I don't know if you guys
Shout
have
out
ever
Jenny, my first breakup.
yeah, shout outs to Jenny. That's
broke up.
my
I
first
couldn't
love, my
understand.
first breakup. I love her to death. But let me tell you something. All right, if you ever read Machiavelli, or if you ever understood one of his most famous phrases,
A lot of people don't read. Give him.
Okay.
Summarize it for them.
So have you ever heard the term? Is it better to be feared or loved?
Oh, okay.
Have you ever heard the saying?
Great analogy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great, like.
So let me ask you: would
Throwing
you
out the
rather
trash.
be feared or would you rather be loved? What's your on? That's a question you actually want to ask everybody you come across with, because
Let's-
that will let you know
Let's say you got to
who
pick
they
one
are as
though.
a
Let's say
person.
you got to pick one, Mark. If you have
Yeah.
to be feared or loved, which would you rather? One or the other. And then I'm gonna hit you with an example that I'm sure you've heard.
Does respect come with being feared? Like,
No, it's a simple
But
question.
here's the thing though. Here's the thing. Fear. I'm scared of the tiger because the tiger's gonna kill me. That's respect. I respect the tiger's power. I respect the tiger's violence. I respect the tiger's bite. That's fear. That's respect. So fear comes with that. Now you could argue that love comes with respect too. And yeah, I love you and I respect you. But here's the issue. And just to kind of get to it. And I heard this when I was, maybe it was from a TV show or something, but the way I first heard it in my life and the way I was first exposed to what I was just trying to say here was a very simple analogy. I think it was a business owner or it was somebody in like a military stance. It could have been like a video game, but the character is like an older, like it's a lieutenant, a superior figure talking to somebody lower. It could have been a boss talking to an employee.
Someone from different ranks.
Different ranks. And the higher rank person says, I don't care about being loved. Why? Because if I ask you to throw out the trash every day and it's a matter of fear or love, if you do it because you love me every day, you might do it every day because you love me, but there'll be that one day where you're like, oh, he loves me. It's okay. I'm not going to do it today. And then boom, that's the failure of everything and that's the fall of the empire. Now, if you fear me every single day, you're going to do your job and take out the trash because you're scared of the consequences.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between being feared or loved. It's like you said, it's the respect. One guarantees the respect because it's a selfish thing. Can we get a refill for my guy here?
Yeah, please. No, but yeah.
Well,
I
we're
like
about
where
to
you were
wrap it
going
up.
with
It's
that.
all good. We're almost
Like where
done
you were
here.
going
So
with
that was the last. I just really
Oh,
just
okay.
wanted to do the big three. So we said we said faith,
Would you
hope,
yeah,
and love.
faith, hope, and love.
And
are
then
the
my
most
big three,
important
then
keys
just to kind of
it.
summarize it, because I do want to do this every episode. I'm gonna say listening. I'm gonna say trust, and I'm gonna say you got to be good in the kitchen. Or no, or let me take that last one back. You don't got to be good in the kitchen. You got to be willing. You got to be willing. And what I mean by that is you got to be open to try, not just being in the kitchen. You got to be opening to, giving head. Maybe giving head's not your thing. You got to be open to trying it. Maybe you don't like
gotta
watching
open up,
movies.
yeah.
Maybe you don't like reading books. Maybe, there's a lot of things. But as when you're in a relationship, you're choosing to be with this person. We're not going to be exactly the same. I don't think, it's hard to be attracted to somebody that's the exact same thing or person you are. It's weird. That's not the case. You're going to have some differences. You're going to have some clashes. It's all about the willingness to being open and to trying.
It's all about making the effort.
Making an effort, man. And you did a great effort today by making an effort to come through, dog, spending some time with me. This was great knowledge and game. You're
I
for sure
appreciate
going to
it. I
come back.
appreciate it.
You're going to be like a reoccurring.
Of course,
guy. Probably
man.
be my next
Of
episode
course.
too, dog.
Of course.
But
Anytime.
thank you, dog. And anything you want to tell the
Appreciate you,
people listening at home? Anything you want to promote? Any message you want to give out?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I want to thank God, and I want to give a shout out to all my friends, all my family members, the people that are strangers, that think they're strangers, but they're not. They're really close friends of mine. I just want to, give a big shout out to you guys, and remember that, this world is temporary, man. Everything you think is a problem might not be such a big problem after all. Just have faith, have hope, have love. You know
Don't
what I
sweat
mean?
the small stuff.
Most important thing, in this world is love. Me and my boy, UB in the house, we've been in each other's lives for a long time now, and till this day we're great friends, and honestly the only reason why is because of love, of companionship, friendship. So
Pause.
if you guys have a special friend out there, I want you guys to to call them, give them a text. I know nowadays we don't really talk to one another anymore, but show them that you care. Show people that you care every now and
Reach
then.
out.
Don't be
It's
afraid.
cool to reach out.
Don't be afraid
Don't be afraid.
to love. Don't be afraid to show who you are. All right, if you're a loving person, show that love. Don't be afraid to get hurt. Show that love to the very end, because that's that love that changes other people.
Whew, that was amazing, bro. I guess I gotta just end it with this. I'm gonna end it with Dr. Seuss. I don't know if you ever heard this, but I'm probably saying it wrong. But we all have a superpower, and that is you are you, and that is truer than true. That's be
Amen to
unique,
that, brother.
be true to your feelings, and be you. This is the
Be
Aircast.
yourself always.
You're on air with Air. Thank y'all for listening. We out. Let's get this man a refill.